Matilda Jocelyn Gage, created by Ethan Holland and Trevor Stone.
If you were a woman during the abolitionist movement, would you have tried to put an end to slavery? This woman is Matilda Jocelyn Gage, who during the abolitionist movement helped many slaves get to freedom in Canada. Have you been to the home of Matilda Jocelyn Gage, located on 109 Walnut Street, Fayetteville? Gage home was one of the many stops on the Underground Railroad. The home of Matilda was a Greek Revival temple-style home. Matilda moved into the house in 1854. She also had a basement barn that stood behind the house, where she would hide slaves when police were inspecting the house, but due to renovations, the basement barn was taken down. Matilda would also have secret meetings at her home for women's rights and anti-slavery. Matilda Jocelyn Gage was born in 1826 in Cicero, New York. Matilda married Henry Gage in 1845. Henry Gage was also big into abolitionism.
Matilda and Henry sacrificed their money, supplies, food, and also clothes to support slaves on their journey north. In 1852, Matilda formally joined the women's rights movement and spoke at a national convention in Syracuse, New York. Later on, she became the president of the New York State Women's Suffrage Association. In 1862, Matilda made an anti-slavery speech at a flag presentation. Would you have what it takes to do what Matilda did? There were some other abolitionists in the Syracuse area that helped Matilda. One is Garrett Smith, a well-known wealthy man who funded a lot of anti-slavery conventions. He also hid slaves and risked going to jail under the fugitive slave law. Second is Jermaine Logan. Just like Matilda, he sacrificed money, food, supplies, and clothing. Jermaine was a well-known reverend and was also an escaped slave. He was also involved in the Jerry Rescue, which was a plan to free a fugitive slave named William Jerry Henry. Would you risk having strangers in your house around your children? Well, they did. The controversy over slavery grew bigger in 1851 when the Fugitive Slave Law was passed. The Fugitive Slave Law allowed slave catchers to bring escaped slaves like William Jerry Henry or Jermaine Logan back to the South if caught. This law made Matilda and other abolitionists become more cautious while transporting slaves. What would you do under these conditions? All of these abolitionists each made big differences. For example, in 1854, Matilda spoke at a women's rights convention in Philadelphia. Also, Matilda as a young adult signed a petition saying she would harbor a slave if she had to. Would you risk going to jail to give someone you don't even know freedom? If a slave knocked on your door, would you push them away or would you take the responsibility and help them? Would you risk your life to save another? Ask yourself these questions, because they did, and they helped change the world. Now special thanks to Ms. Zanaco, Mr. Toner, Mr. Richardson, Mr. Gigi, Mr. Burns, Mr. Seaberger, Ms. Hasselbauer, Charlasia Williams, all of our peers, and our families. Thank you and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you for our guidance on our field work to the Gage home, located on 109 Walnut Street in Fayetteville, New York.